I'd like to have a little chat about colonization and its obverse, decolonization. I toss the word colonization around rather broadly within this class. What is it? Colonization is the process of empire building. One group will move in, take over the land and resources of another group. That takeover includes the people who make up the other group. Colonization is a long-term process. You've seen it in the histories that we've been reading. In our case, Northern Europeans came to what is known as the American continents, and within a relatively short brief of time, came to dominate the landscape and the resources. The colonizers imposed their beliefs, their language, their philosophy, and their values on the people who lived here previously, and that colonization has remained unchecked for several centuries. I'm not picking on Northern Europe. We use them as an example in this class because I can find English language texts and documents to work with. Colonization has occurred throughout history. Whenever one group of people expand their territory and create empires, colonization occurs. Decolonization is the process of undoing empire. We have seen the dissolution of European empire throughout the 20th century. We have seen new nation states arise in places to replace the earlier states that were subsumed by the colonial powers. Decolonization also requires the delegitimization of the rule of power by the entity that subjugated the indigenous population. We have numerous examples throughout history of colonization. The Romans were very, very good at it for a very, very long time, for example. There are deep-seated and long-term effects that stem from colonization. We can see it here in the US and Canada in the historic attempts to erase indigenous languages, practices, and systems. We can see decolonization occurring in the resistance to those attempts and in the challenges to ongoing processes of colonization. Those challenges can take the form of pipeline protests and courtroom challenges to laws and treaty violations. If you want to see delegitimization occurring in real time, go to Irish, Indian, and Black Twitter and see the responses to the death of Queen Elizabeth II. You'll see some very real, very raw responses to colonization as represented by the monarchy of England. Decolonization means change. Change is inevitable. Change also elicits strong emotional responses, no matter where you find your perspective. I would like you to look at our world now or in the past and pick a moment of colonization or decolonization and write about it for our class.